people. You know, it's that time of month when it's MPJ time, new rock album review show. Welcome to my consortium today, to Paul, to Trish, and to Andy. We reviewed the latest rock albums, rate them out of 5. Will it get into our Hall of Fame? Will it get into our Album of the Year show? We just tell it as it is, how much we liked the album, without going into too much detail. Today's offering is Never Obey Again and their album Trust. And what we've done, and what I've done very conveniently, is if you want to know more about who they are, I've put a whole lot of blog and verbs and text just below the video, so you can have a look at that and find out a bit more of that, which you can really place next to the like and subscribe button. Hit them while you're there. So, who should we start with? Who could I trust the most? Because it has to be Trish White, of course. And may she never obey me again. And what did you think of this album, Trish?
Did she ever obey you?
No.
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 I'm right.
Never Obey Again. I'd not heard of them. But this album is punchy, powerful musically with catchy, meaningful songs, and the lead's vocals are strong. While there is growlo in the songs, she works it well and not overpowering, but in the right time and place within each song, so it works well and doesn't detract from the album. I really like the heaviness and deep of the album mixed with some softer tracks. This is sure to attract some new followers because of how good this album is. The standout track for me is Under My Skin Before Your Eyes.
Paul! Now, Paul, you said to me when we were looking at our shortlist that this is one that was showing potential. Did it live up to that potential for you?
Did I say that?
You did. It was on your shortlist as well, brother.
Are you sure you just conjured that up?
No, I would not. Actually, I would not have listened to this album without you putting it on my shortlist.
Yeah, I listened to some of this previous stuff and I really enjoyed it. So this Italian band, Never Obey Again, have entered the modern metal arena with their latest album, Trust. Lead singer vocalist Carolina Bertelegni, could be that, could not be, I don't know, has a tremendous voice, and she is backed up with a very talented band. Enough so that they could go anywhere with their music. Unfortunately for me, listening to over half this album that the singer is screaming throughout the songs is not going to win them over. Songs like Trust, Control and Conquer and Divide, where the screams are dialed back, show the band's creativity and dimension. It baffles me why she screams, why the screams are needed on a number of tracks. I read an article where the lead singer talks about the band and singer and states that older metalheads hate this screamo. He's right. As it feels as if you're being forced to drink a pint of goat's piss, and then the aftertaste is more than bitter. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
Goat's piss. Goat's piss. Wow.
I go this before then, Paul.
So, somebody was watching I'm a Celeb last night, probably.
Yep, maybe. Oh dear.
Well, somebody who's not a celeb, but we'll watch him anyway. Andy, what did you think of this album?
Well, I thought, it's not actually my cup of tea, not really my taste for the elements that the scream. I think either you have to sort of like sometimes just go all in on it, and that is what your sound is, or really dial it back. I thought it was, but yeah, other people have talked about that indeed as well. So I thought it was emotive. I thought it was gothic. I thought it had a certain drive to the sound as well. I did also appreciate the sort of the degree of there's a bit of electronica and EDM in there as well, sort of weaved in a little bit to a degree as well, which I think I did appreciate, and it made it sonically a bit more interesting as well. But yeah, it wasn't quite my cup of tea, I have to say.
Well, somebody who is our cup of tea, and that's Trish, of course. I mean, 4 sugars sweet. Rock chick Trish, what do you think?
Sorry, I thought I've already done mine.
Yeah, she's already done that bit.
Has she?
I know I'm going mad. Yeah.
This goes to show he doesn't listen to you, Trish. He doesn't care. He doesn't listen. Doesn't even know you've spoken.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what did I think? Never a Bear Gale. I thought it's very much my cup of tea in terms of that dark colour, goth melodic kind of heavy rock. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And I disagree with Paul. I don't think half the songs were great. I mean, I have a certain threshold for or tolerance for kind of that metalcore vibe, and I think a lot of the stuff was certainly not half the song by a long stretch of the imagination. I think probably might have re-listened to that again. Maybe one or two of the early tracks had more metalcore in it, but certainly by the end of the album there was hardly any metalcore in it at all, really. And I agree to a point, but this was certainly well within my tolerance. I think sometimes metalcore tries to enhance the tracks, and I think this very much was in that element of that. I mean, some of the albums I hear, like when Future Palace, for example, which is now top of our league, way too much metalcore for me, though I loved the sound. I thought this was dark melodic, and I thought this was absolutely a sublimely brilliant album. Probably one of my favourites of the year, I think. Tracks such as Animal by Choice, Under My Skin, Never Feel, Never Fear, Trust. 4 songs made my cool playlist, and that's quite rare that more than 4 songs, more than 3 songs even, get onto that cool playlist. But I genuinely thought this album was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely loved it. I so loved it. See, we're a bit split here. So it's will it reach our Hall of Fame? Needs to get a score of 4 or more. Let's find out. I'm going to start with Chris. Chris give this a 3.5, so yeah, very very good. I give this a 5. I give it a 5. I absolutely loved it. Andy, what did you give it?
I gave it like Chris, a 3.5.
Ah, fantastic. Trish, what did you give it?
I gave it a 5.
5. Fantastic. Now, I would just point out that I wouldn't have reviewed this album if it wasn't for Paul. Paul put me in this direction. Now,
you're regretting it now.
Now, if Paul has scored 3 or more, it gets into our Hall of Fame. It would get into our Hall of Fame if Paul has given this album, which he put in front of me. I will tell you this now. Paul put it in front of me and said, this shows real promise. I listened to them and I agreed with him. It did show real promise. Paul, get this album into the
good.
Hall of Fame. Get it into the Hall of Fame, Paul. Give us your score.
Of course not. Give it a 2.5. Didn't you hear my comments?
I did, Paul. I did, and I just want to rub it in because, do you know what? I love this show because of its diversity in terms of how we think of it. And sometimes when I see so passionate about an album, there are 2 albums I'm absolutely distraught at not getting in. Well, I would say distraught, a bit over the top, but gutted, shall we say, that didn't get into our Hall of Fame. First of all, Greta Van Fleet with their album. The second one was Nightwish, and that didn't get in as well. And I've got to say, I'm going to add this to the third batch. I am absolutely gutted that this did not get into our Hall of Fame. Absolutely gutted. Loved this album. Yeah, absolutely gutted. But saying that, it did get 3.9. I joined the 6 albums this month that just fell short of getting to the Hall of Fame. So there's in good company, very good company. It's still a fantastic score, and generally a massive thumbs up from the MPJ, apart from Paul, of course. Into what is a fantastic album, brilliant. I can't wait to hear more. Maybe a little bit less ground out, but it was within my tolerance levels. Thank you very much to my wonderful panel. To Paul, to Trish, to Andy, and the absent Chris. I can blame Chris for not giving it a 4 either, so there we go. Right, okay, everybody, thank you very much. Keep on rocking, keep on listening. Find out more about the band, read it below, hit the like and subscribe button. We like to see more people subscribing. Thank you very much, goodbye.